Well, in question 2 here, we're asked to find the derivative of this function here. We've got a quotient. We want to find the derivative at 1. So essentially what we're doing is we're finding the slope of the tangent line at x equals 1. So let's first find the derivative. So we'll differentiate this function using the quotient rule. Then once we get that, we'll substitute 1 in for x and compute. So I'm going to use the quotient rule here, and I remember the quotient rule as this. It's the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. So let's go. We're going to get f of f prime of x equaling, okay, it's the bottom. Now the bottom is the quantity x minus 3 times the derivative of the top. Now here's the top. This derivative is 2, right? The coefficient of x to the first is 2. And then the derivative of the constant is 0, so we just get 2. And then minus the top, which is the quantity 2x minus 1, times the derivative of the bottom. Now the bottom is x minus 3. There's a 1 out here, right? So the derivative of x is just 1. The derivative of the negative 3 is 0, so we just get a 1 here. So times 1 all over the bottom, which is the quantity x minus 3 squared. Let's just run through it again. So it's the bottom, the x minus 3, times the derivative of the top, 2, minus the top, 2x minus 1, times the derivative of the bottom, which is just 1, all over the bottom, x minus 3 squared. So a little bit of algebra here. Let's tighten up that top here. So we'll multiply through, getting 2x minus 6, and then over here, right, we'll multiply through just by negative 1 here, so it's minus 2x plus 1 all over x minus 3 squared. And you can see this 2x and that 2x, they're going to cancel. And then we've got a negative 6 plus 1, that's going to give us negative 5. So it looks like we will have f prime of x equaling negative 5 over x minus 3 squared. All right, here's our derivative. But now what we want to do is to find the derivative at 1. Right, that's what we're being asked to do. Get the derivative, which we've got, but evaluate it at x equals 1. So I'm going to use this notation here. I'm going to write f prime of x, and then I write this vertical line, and down here I'm going to put x equals 1. So this just says, just some notation that says, take this expression here and evaluate it at x equals 1. So our expression is negative 5 over x minus 3 squared. And if I put in a 1, I'm going to get, okay, at x equals 1, we will get negative 5 over quantity 1 minus 3 squared. How about negative 5 over negative 2 squared? I'll do it right up here. Negative 5 over negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So there we go. So we're going to claim now that f prime of 1 is negative 5 over 4.